We are often told that the wild is a place of cold, calculated survival. It is a world where you only bleed for your own kind and never interfere with the hunger of a predator. But what if those ironclad rules are merely a veil covering a warmer, deeper truth? Imagine a sun-drenched afternoon on the emerald green grasslands of the Masai Mara. The air is sweet, the grass is lush, and for a moment, the world seems perfect. But then, in the space between a breath and a scream, that perfection shatters. A massive python strikes, and a poor elephant calf is trapped in literal death coils. Normally, this is where the story ends. The herd is too far away, the predator is too fast. But today, the savior is not a member of the herd. From the shadows of the forest edge, an outsider steps forth, a creature who has no business on this battlefield. Kumba, a massive silverback gorilla, is about to do the unthinkable. He is about to risk everything to answer a cry for help in a language that is not even his own. Why would a king of the jungle gamble his life for a stranger on the plains? Today, we witness a moment of pure empathy, an act that shook the natural world, and one that will forever change the way you perceive kindness. In the daylight of the Masai Mara, everything appears with a breathtaking radiance. No longer a scorched, barren land. The grasslands now resemble an endless carpet of emerald velvet stretching to the horizon. This is the season of life, where great elephant herds, the ancient souls of the continent, move with majestic serenity. Amidst this slow rhythm, the center of attention is the smallest calf in the herd. This calf is the embodiment of pure innocence. With ears far too large for its body and a tiny trunk that doesn't quite obey its master yet, every step is an adventure. Onlookers might smile seeing it mimic its mother, clumsily thumping tufts of grass, or prancing joyfully at the sight of a colorful butterfly. It is the joy of the herd, a treasure protected by walls of massive flesh. Yet, it was this boundless curiosity that led the little one just a few steps too far from its mother's safety, toward a cluster of low bushes where the shade beckoned. But in this world, beauty often walks hand in hand with danger. Deep within the lush grass and dense foliage lurks an entity that is the polar opposite of the herd's warmth. The African rock python does not view the world with love. It sees through heat signatures and mechanical vibrations. It is a perfect biological machine, a predator that has survived for millions of years without needing to change. Its patterned skin blends perfectly into the shadows of the thorn bushes, rendering it invisible in broad daylight. As the calf approaches, the python does not rush. It waits with a terrifying patience. And then, in a flash too fast for the human eye to follow, that living chain uncoils. There is no roar, only the hiss of wind and a blunt impact. Cold coils immediately lock around the small body. Panic strikes. Eyes once full of wonder now dilate in horror. The calf tries to scream, a strangled trumpet catching in its throat as the air is squeezed from its lungs. It is a cruel contrast. Amidst a vibrant grassland full of life, death arrives in a silent, ruthless embrace. Not far from where the tragedy is unfolding, Kumba, a silverback gorilla with shoulders as broad as a granite crag, sits quietly among the thick leaves of the forest edge. Sunlight filters through the canopy, creating dancing spots of light on his deep black fur. Kumba is a king, but his kingdom is the forest, where every tree and bush falls under his command. The laws of the gorilla are clear: protect the family, hold the territory, and never step out into the open plains where larger predators lie in wait. However, the strangled cry of the elephant calf pierces the silence of the woods. Kumba stands. He listens with every sense. It isn't the call of his kind, nor is it a direct threat to his family. By pure survival instinct, Kumba should turn away. Interfering in a fight between a rock python and an elephant is madness, a futile risk that could cost him his life. But Kumba does not turn away. He peers through the leaves and sees the calf collapsing, its eyes bulging, searching for a final glimmer of hope in the empty space. In that moment, something deeper than instinct rises within the silverback. It is primal empathy, an invisible thread connecting all living hearts. Kumba realizes that fear has no unique language, and pain feels the same for every species. He takes one step, then two, leaving the safe shadows of the ancient forest to step into the sun-scorched plains. It is an act that breaks every rule of nature. It is a sight of raw authority, a giant of the green forest striding onto the domain of the giants of the savannah. Kumba does not rush in blindly. He approaches, muscles rippling under his shimmering silver fur, his throat emitting low rumbles like distant thunder. He beats his chest, a symbol of power and a warning. It is a king's declaration. Not here, not today. Facing the cold rock python, Kumba is not just fighting with physical strength, he is fighting with a moral choice. He chooses to be the protector of a stranger. The tension reaches a breaking point as Kumba reaches out his massive hands, ready to seize death itself to reclaim the life of the little elephant. The air on the grassland suddenly grows thick. The python, a creature that only knows victory through silence, now faces a force it has never encountered in its predatory script. As Kumba nears, the reptile shows no fear. It tightens its coils further, letting out a bone-chilling hiss to threaten the interloper. But Kumba does not flinch. With a thunderous roar that shakes the distant trees, he lunges. The battle is violent and raw. Kumba uses his powerful hands to grip the thick, muscular body of the python, straining to unravel the coils that are crushing the calf's ribs. The python fights back frantically, swinging its head to sink its sharp teeth into Kumba's arm. Red blood begins to flow, staining his majestic silver fur, but Kumba does not let go. The pain only fuels his resolve. He grits his teeth, putting his entire body weight into slamming the monster down. It is a haunting image, a king of the forest bartering his own flesh and blood to save a foreign life. At that moment, the ground begins to tremble violently. From a distance, a cloud of dust rises. The herd has heard the final cry and is charging like a furious storm. Their footsteps pound the earth like war drums. The mother leads the charge, her long tusks thrust forward, ready to crush anything in her path. But as the herd skids to a halt, an unbelievable sight unfolds, stopping even the largest creatures of the plains in their tracks. They do not see an enemy, they see a guardian. The elephants form a massive circle, creating a wall of flesh to shield the scene. The mother trembles with rage and grief, but she cannot strike because Kumba and the python are locked in a struggle over her baby. In that split second, Kumba summons his final reserves of strength. A scream of defiance erupts from his chest as he tears the python's body away from its prey. The incredible strength of the silverback prevails. The python, realizing it stands no chance against an entire herd and a madman who does not fear death, finally releases its grip and slithers into the thick grass. The calf lies there, gasping and shaking, but snatched from the jaws of death. A stunned silence falls over the plains, where all predatory instincts are eclipsed by a moment of extraordinary courage. As the storm of violence fades, a strange stillness settles over the grassland. Kumba stands there, breathing heavily, his arm bleeding but his eyes steady. He does not beat his chest in victory or seek attention. He simply watches the calf as it struggles to stand on trembling legs. In a brief, quiet moment, Kumba steps closer and reaches out a rough finger to gently touch the calf's forehead, a touch as soft as a whisper, "You're okay now." The giant elephants remain motionless. The initial suspicion in the mother's eyes has been replaced by something sacred, respect. The mother elephant steps forward. Her great trunk does not swing to drive the stranger away. Instead, she gently places it on Kumba's shoulder. It is a touch that crosses borders, a thank you without words, shattering the barriers between two different worlds. In that instant, the divide between species, between forest and plain, between the strong and the weak, vanishes. There is only the pure connection between two souls who understand the value of life. Kumba steps back, giving a slight nod as a farewell, then slowly walks back toward the forest edge. He disappears into the shadows of the ancient trees, leaving behind a reunited elephant family and an eternal lesson in kindness. Kumba needed no reward, for the greatest reward was the peace in his heart, knowing he had done what was right. The story of Kumba and the elephant calf reminds us, courage is not just facing an enemy, it is overcoming prejudice to reach out to a stranger. In our busy lives, we often build walls to protect ourselves, but sometimes We need the bravery to build bridges. Have you ever been a Kumba in someone's life or received help from a total stranger? Share your story in the comments below so we can spread faith and love. If this video touched your heart, please hit subscribe so you don't miss our next emotional journeys. Because wherever there is compassion, there are miracles.